Hey everybody, Coco here. If you're new to my channel, I will hope that you would like what you see and subscribe, share these out. This is a quick DIY on how to make your own pressed flowers and herbs. So for those of you that are new to me, I've been making nature papers. And even though this is flooded with hue and saturation, you still pick up the elements of flower petals and some herbs in here. And sometimes that shows up on the back side. This you can see a little bit more clearly. There's some dill, parsley, and flower petals. And the butterfly tea blooms and shows on the back side. Here's a little clearer picture, even though I have less items in here. But they certainly add such a lovely element. And this has a little less paint and a lot more herb and fibers showing. Now, in the case of dill, sometimes it halos out and gives it a yellowish, kind of a chartreuse glow. Sometimes it doesn't. But as you can see, they certainly add wonderful movement and texture. So let me show you how this is done. First, I start out with a simple ironstone plate. You can use china. Don't use anything that has metal in it, but this has elements in it that when it's heated in the microwave, the plate sometimes is hotter than the food. And in this situation, that's what we want. We want this to become like a baking brick. So what I do is I simply lay out a tissue, and then I load that tissue with, or paper towel, with herbs. And then I keep going with that process, layer upon layer. And these have already been done, but let me show you some of the results. This is Tweedia. It's from the milkweed family, and it's a known pollinator for butterflies, hummingbirds, bees. And then this little herb did not do too well in it. So we will discuss what are good candidates. This is basil. I'm not too impressed with it. Now, the woodier herbs, like oregano, did great. And of course, anything with a stem is easier to pick up. And then when you go to lay these on your paper, you can watch my video on how to apply these. They make it easier. So now I would lay one more sheet of paper towel on that. Then I would put this in the microwave 30 seconds. Touch your plate. If it's really hot, let it cool just a minute, then do another 30 seconds. Carefully touch your plate. If it's really hot, just leave it alone. And then from that point on, you want to remove this. You can add 30 more seconds if you think you need it, because if you're doing multiple layers, you might need the time, but I would not do too many at once. Keep your life simple. So let me show you some of the results. This is parsley. As you see, it's easier to grip with the stem. Now, when you first work with parsley, it's a broad leaf, but it makes a great candidate. See, it shrinks. It's going to shrink a little. So be prepared. Now, parsley is a great candidate. I got this live herb for about $3 at our local supermarket, and I can just harvest off this as long as I can keep my plant going. And then dill makes an excellent candidate because of its feathery fronds. And I just snip it. And I was doing tiny little bits, but after a while I thought, well, I think I can speed up the process and go with larger pieces. But it's going to be moist when you get it out, and you want to be able to dry this moist herb. So if you have a little drying rack, something you can lay things on to complete their cycle of drying, great idea. If you don't, A simple cardboard tray works, or just spreading out all these will disperse the steam, the moisture. Okay, now these are petals that I did not flatten. These are peony petals. Most of them retained their beautiful pink pigment. And then I just simply tear those to drop on the paper. And if you watch my video of how to make a DIY nature paper, you'll see what we do. This is a chive. It's thoroughly dehydrated, but I left it textural. I did not want to flatten it because I like the bumps and the element of 3D that it adds. So in closing, if you're looking to replace the expense of dehydrated flowers, this packet was like $12. Trying to get that loose. They're very delicate to work with. But if you're looking to do an alternative source, try this. A simple DIY, 30 seconds in the microwave, let it rest, 30 seconds, let it steam off, and then you can have a little stash like me to play with your papers. And they don't have to be perfect shapes. It just, random is good. These are just little bits of parsley, not the whole leaf. But the effect is lovely. Okay, this is COCO signing out. Toodles!